She likes you, she thinks about you, but she doesn't text you or reach out, and you're sitting there wondering if she ever will. Here's the truth: she won't. Not because she doesn't want to, but because of something much deeper. If you're ready to finally understand what's happening inside her mind and how to flip the dynamic, drop "I'm listening" in the comments and commit to watching this video until the very end. What you're about to hear will change the way you see women forever. You feel it, don't you? The confusion, the frustration, the endless waiting by your phone, staring at her last message and asking yourself, why hasn't she texted back? It's painful. You thought things were going well. Maybe you had an amazing conversation. Maybe she even told you she liked you. But now, silence. You refresh your notifications, hoping something will change, but it doesn't. Let me be real with you. Right now, she's not contacting you because she doesn't need to. You gave away your power, and when a man does that, it kills attraction faster than anything else. But here's the good news. This isn't the end of the story. You can take back control. I'm going to show you exactly why she's behaving this way, what's really going on in her mind, and how to make her chase you instead. And don't worry, this isn't some fairy tale advice. We're talking real, raw truth based on psychology, female nature, and the principles of Stoicism. Before we dive in, support this channel by subscribing. YouTube will recommend this content to more men who need to hear this, so hit that subscribe button and let's get into it. Number 1, why she doesn't text you first. She's on your mind right now, isn't she? You're sitting there, replaying that last conversation, dissecting every detail, every emoji, every pause, and wondering what went wrong. It's frustrating. It's infuriating. You did everything right. At least you thought you did. She was laughing at your jokes. She leaned in closer when you talked. Her eyes lit up when you mentioned your plans. You could feel it. There was a spark, but now she's gone silent. Not a word, not a text. And you're stuck questioning yourself, doubting your value as a man, and wondering why women do this. You feel like you're on trial without ever knowing what crime you committed. That's where most men lose the game, right at this moment of weakness, when they start believing the lies society feeds them, that it's their job to chase her. Let me tell you something no one else will. Women are masters at leaving you on red. Not because they're cruel, but because they're testing you. She's not reaching out because she knows that if you break first, if you cave in and send that double text, she wins. Women are wired to subconsciously test a man's ability to handle pressure. They don't want a man who cracks at the first sign of difficulty. If you can't handle her silence, how will you handle life's bigger problems? When you're constantly waiting by the phone, obsessing over her next move, you're failing that test. Women don't respect men who seek their validation. The moment you show her that her absence affects your confidence, she loses interest. Women want men who control their emotions, who don't flinch when she pulls away. The man who can stay calm and indifferent is the man she will always be curious about. When you chase her, you confirm her belief that she's the prize. Once she knows she has you, the game is over. She becomes bored, predictable. Men don't excite women, they repel them. So what's the answer? It's simple, but not easy. You stop being predictable. You stop reacting to her silence. You stop giving her power over your emotions. You become the man she chases by mastering the one thing most men don't understand: indifference. Think about this. When was the last time you truly felt in control of your emotions when dealing with a woman you liked? Most men can't answer that question because they've been conditioned to believe that women are the ones who decide how a relationship unfolds. But that's a lie. Women want to be led. They won't admit it. But deep down, they crave a man who takes charge, who sets the tone, who doesn't seek permission to be himself. When she knows you don't need her validation, She becomes addicted to earning it. Women are emotional creatures. They live in a world of feelings, and the man who can create emotional highs and lows will always have her attention. If you're stable and predictable, you're just another guy she forgets. Let's talk about why she doesn't text first. One word: power. Women know the moment they send that first text, they're giving up a piece of their power. They don't want to seem desperate or needy. Society has conditioned them to believe that they must always be pursued, never the pursuer. This creates a paradox. She wants you to chase her because it makes her feel valuable. But the moment you chase her, she loses respect for you. The men who succeed with women are the ones who understand this paradox and know how to navigate it. You don't give her the chase she expects. You give her the chase she doesn't see coming. You make her chase you without ever explicitly asking her to. Here's what you need to understand about turning her on without lifting a finger. It's not about what you say, it's about what you don't say. Mystery is your greatest weapon. When you're too open, too available, you kill the anticipation. Women are turned on by the unknown, by the thrill of figuring you out. When you text her constantly, you remove the mystery. She knows you're always there, always waiting, and that's boring. But when you pull back, when you make her wonder why you're not texting, when you leave her to sit in the silence, you trigger something primal in her. She starts thinking about you. She starts missing you. And that's when the tables turn. If you want to turn her on without saying a word, focus on your life. Build yourself up so that she sees you as a man of value. Go to the gym, build your business, improve your social skills, and create a life that's so attractive that she wants to be a part of it. Women are turned on by ambition and purpose. They don't fantasize about the guy who texts them "good morning" every day. They fantasize about the man who's too busy chasing his goals to text her at all. When she knows you have options, when she knows other women find you desirable, she'll crave your attention. But you don't give it to her freely. You make her work for it. When you do text her, keep it short and impactful. Don't engage in long conversations. Don't explain yourself. Women love mystery, and when you leave her wanting more, she'll be the one chasing you. Don't be afraid to let her feel your absence. Most men are terrified of this. They think that if they don't constantly remind her of their presence, she'll forget about them, but the opposite is true. Absence makes her think about you. It creates space for her to wonder what you're doing, who you're with, and why you're not texting her. That curiosity is what keeps her interested. Let me tell you a story. There was a man who understood this perfectly. He met a woman who was used to men fawning over her, begging for her attention. But he was different. He didn't text her every day. He didn't like her Instagram photos. He didn't chase her. Instead, he focused on his life. And when he did reach out, he made sure every interaction was meaningful. He didn't waste time on small talk. He made her feel something every time they spoke. He was unpredictable, and that unpredictability drove her wild. She couldn't stop thinking about him because he gave her the emotional roller coaster she craved. And that's the key. Women don't want stability in the early stages of attraction. They want excitement, tension, and unpredictability. You need to become the man who knows how to create tension. You do this by controlling your emotions, by never overreacting, and by staying calm, even when she pulls away. Women are attracted to men who can handle pressure, who don't crumble at the first sign of difficulty. If she doesn't text you, you don't panic. You don't double text. You don't chase. You stay grounded in your purpose, knowing that if she's truly interested, she'll come back. And if she doesn't, you move on. Because a high-value man never waits for someone who doesn't recognize his worth. Turning her on is about more than just physical attraction. It's about psychological dominance. It's about making her feel like she has to earn your attention. When you master this, you'll never have to worry about why she's not texting you again. She'll be the one waiting for your text, wondering when she'll see you again, and thinking about you long after you've moved on to the next part of your life. This is the power you have when you stop giving away your value and start making her work for it. Women respect men who respect themselves, and the moment you put yourself first, she'll do anything to be a part of your world. Number 2, the fear factor. Why is she holding back? Women live their lives playing an invisible game of emotional self-defense, a game most men don't even know they're a part of. Her silence, her hesitation, her mixed signals, they're not random, they're not accidental, they're calculated moves driven by fear. Fear of rejection, fear of vulnerability, fear of being seen as weak or desperate. If you don't understand this, you'll keep thinking she's playing hard to get, when in reality, she's protecting herself. Women have been conditioned since they were young to avoid rejection at all costs. Society has told them that a woman who chases is a woman who loses. They're afraid that if they expose too much of their interest, you'll see them as less valuable. It's not about logic, it's about survival. Women survive emotionally by making sure they don't put themselves in situations where their egos can be bruised. If you understand this fear, you'll stop being confused by her silence and start using it to your advantage. Think about this. When a woman doesn't text first, it's not because she doesn't care about you. It's because she's afraid of what it might mean if you don't respond the way she hopes. She overthinks every message. She wonders if she'll come across as too needy. She fears that if she shows too much interest, you'll pull away, leaving her embarrassed and exposed. Women's greatest fear in the dating world isn't rejection. It's the humiliation that comes with it. That's why she'll post a story on Instagram instead of texting you directly. That's why she'll like your picture instead of asking how you're doing. She's constantly looking for indirect ways to show interest without risking rejection. And here's where most men screw up. They chase her because they think her silence means disinterest. But the truth is, the more you chase, the more you validate her fear that she has the upper hand. Once she feels that power imbalance, she loses respect for you. Women don't chase men, they control. They chase men who are in control of themselves. Her fear doesn't just manifest in her silence, it's in her behavior. When she pulls back after an amazing date, when she suddenly becomes distant, it's her fear kicking in. She's afraid that if she gets too close, she might get hurt. And this is where most men panic. They think they've done something wrong. They start texting more, calling more, trying to reassure her that they're still interested. But this only confirms her fear. She sees your panic as weakness, and weakness is the fastest way to kill attraction. Women are biologically wired to seek strength. They don't want a man who crumbles the moment things get uncertain. They want a man who stays calm, who doesn't chase, who lets her come to him. That's why the most powerful thing you can do when she pulls back is to do nothing. Let her sit in her fear. Let her wonder if she's losing you. The moment she realizes you're not chasing her, her fear of rejection is replaced by a fear of losing you, and that's when she starts chasing. Women are emotional creatures, but their emotions aren't random. They follow patterns. Once you understand those patterns, you can predict how she'll behave. Her fear of rejection is tied to her need for validation. Women crave validation, but they only value it when they have to earn it. If you give her validation without making her work for it, she'll take it for granted. But if you withhold it, if you make her chase it, she'll value every bit of attention you give her. Think about the last time you chased a woman. The more you texted her, the less interested she seemed, right? That's because you were giving her what she hadn't earned. She didn't need to chase you because you were already giving her everything. Women aren't turned on by a man who's always available. They're turned on by the man who knows his value and isn't afraid to let her miss him. The fear of rejection isn't the only fear driving her actions. Women also fear boredom. A man who's predictable, who's always available, who doesn't challenge her. He's boring. And boredom kills attraction. Women need emotional stimulation. They need to feel a range of emotions to stay invested. That's why they'll test you. They'll pull back to see how you react. They'll ignore your texts to see if you'll chase. They're not doing this consciously. It's instinctual. Women test men because they want to know if you're strong enough to handle them. If you fail the test, if you get emotional, if you start chasing, they lose respect for you. But if you pass the test, if you stay calm and unbothered, they see you as a man worth pursuing. Turning a woman on isn't just about physical attraction, it's about emotional dominance. Women are turned on by men who make them feel something, and that something isn't always comfort. Sometimes it's mystery, sometimes it's anticipation, sometimes it's even frustration. When you're too available, when you're too predictable, you rob her of these emotions. But when you pull back, when you make her wonder, when you leave her hanging just enough to spark her curiosity, you create an emotional roller coaster that keeps her hooked. Women don't want a smooth ride. They want the highs and lows that make them feel alive. If you can master this, you'll never have to chase a woman again. She'll be chasing you. And this isn't about playing games. It's about understanding female psychology and using it to create genuine attraction. Women are attracted to men who make them feel safe, but they're obsessed with men who make them feel excited. If you can be both, you become irresistible. When you pull back, you're not abandoning her. You're giving her the space to miss you. You're giving her the chance to feel that fear of losing you, and that fear is what triggers her desire. She'll start thinking about you more. She'll start wondering what you're doing. She'll start checking her phone, hoping for your text. And when you do text her, it'll have 10 times the impact, because you've created the emotional buildup she craves. Her fear of rejection, her fear of boredom, her need for validation, they're all interconnected. When you understand this, you stop reacting to her silence and start controlling the dynamic. You become the man she can't get enough of, the man she chases, the man who sets the tone of the relationship. And once you're in that position, you don't have to do much. Your presence, your confidence, your ability to stay calm in the face of uncertainty, that's what keeps her hooked. Women want a man who doesn't need them, but chooses them. When you embody this, you become the man she can't resist. Now, let's talk about practical steps. The next time she pulls back, don't panic. Don't double text. Don't call her to ask what's wrong. Instead, focus on yourself. Go to the gym, work on your goals, spend time with friends. Live your life as if her absence doesn't affect you, because that's the energy that will draw her back. When she sees that you're not chasing, that you're not desperate for her attention, she'll feel the shift. Her fear of losing you will override her fear of rejection, and she'll start chasing you. But you have to be patient. Women are like cats. They'll come to you when they're ready, but only if you give them the space to do so. And when she does come back, don't reward her instantly. Make her earn your attention. Make her feel like she's won something valuable. This doesn't mean you should be cold or distant. It means you should be intentional. Every text, every call, every interaction should have purpose. Don't waste your energy on small talk. When you speak to her, make her feel something. Challenge her, tease her, keep her on her toes. Women are drawn to men who keep them guessing, men who make them feel alive. Be that man, and you'll never have to chase a woman again. She'll be chasing you, wondering how she can keep you interested. This is how you turn her fear into attraction. This is how you flip the dynamic and make her crave you. But it all starts with you. If you're constantly seeking her validation, you'll never get it. But if you create a life that's so fulfilling, so exciting, so powerful that her absence doesn't even register, she'll feel it. Women can sense when a man is on his purpose, when he's living life on his terms, and that's the man they want to be with. That's the man they'll chase. So stop waiting for her to text you. Stop trying to prove your worth. Focus on becoming the man she can't ignore, and watch how quickly she starts chasing you. Number 3, why chasing her will destroy your chances. Every time you chase her, you're giving away the one thing she finds irresistible: your power. You may not realize it, but the moment you double text her, blow up her phone, or ask her why she hasn't responded, you're killing attraction. Women don't respond to men who make them feel smothered. They respond to men who give them space to desire them. The second you start chasing her, you tell her one thing: you're the prize, and I'm just hoping you'll pick me. The hard truth is that women don't desire men they feel they already own. They don't fantasize about the guy who's always waiting for their text. They fantasize about the man who's unpredictable, mysterious, and a challenge to figure out. That's how female psychology works. What they can't fully have keeps them hooked. Think about the last time you were interested in someone who was always available, always complimenting you, and always trying to win your affection. At first, it might have felt good. You might have appreciated the attention, but eventually, it became boring, predictable, and suffocating. That's exactly how women feel when you chase them. They may smile at your compliments, but deep down, they're losing respect for you. Because the man who chases is the man who communicates that he's lower in value. He's saying, "I need you more than you need me." And the moment you give her that message, she'll see you as disposable. Women are biologically programmed to respect strength, not weakness. And make no mistake, chasing her is a form of weakness. It shows that you don't trust your value, that you're desperate for her validation. And desperation is the most unattractive thing a man can display. Desperation tells her that you've put her on a pedestal, that you see her as the source of your happiness. But here's the harsh truth: no woman wants to be your purpose. She wants to be part of your life, not the center of it. When you make her the center of your world, you become her backup option, her emotional safety net. And no woman chases a man she sees as her backup plan. Women crave men who have boundaries. They want men who have the discipline to say, "No, I'm not going to text her first. No, I'm not going to drop everything for her. No, I'm not going to revolve my life around her schedule." Because when you set those boundaries, you show her that you're a man of value. You show her that you don't need her to feel complete, and that's when she starts to chase you. Not because she's being manipulated, but because you've created a dynamic where she feels compelled to earn your attention. Here's the key: women value what they have to earn. If you give them everything up front, your time, your affection, your validation, they won't appreciate it. But when they have to work for it, they'll fight to keep it. So how do you stop chasing and make her chase you instead? The answer lies in understanding what turns her on emotionally and psychologically. Women are not just turned on by physical attraction, they're turned on by emotional stimulation. They're turned on by the thrill of uncertainty, by the excitement of wondering where they stand with you. If she knows exactly how you feel about her at all times, she's not thinking about you. But if she's unsure, if she's wondering why you haven't texted her, if she's questioning whether you're interested, then you're on her mind. And when you're on her mind, you're in control. Control the dynamic by controlling your reactions. When she doesn't text you back, don't react. When she cancels plans, don't beg to reschedule. When she gives you mixed signals, don't try to decode them. Instead, take a step back and focus on yourself. Focus on building a life so fulfilling that her presence or absence doesn't shake you. Go to the gym, work on your business, improve your skills, hang out with your friends. Live a life that's so full that you don't have time to sit around wondering why she hasn't texted you. When you do this, you create what's known as pre-selection. Women are naturally attracted to men who are desired by others. When she sees that you're living a life of abundance, that you have options, that you're not waiting around for her, she'll feel the urge to compete for your attention. She'll want to prove that she's worth your time, and that's when the dynamic shifts in your favor. Here's something you need to understand. Women test men. They do it subconsciously, but they do it all the time. When she pulls back, when she doesn't respond to your texts, when she plays hard to get, she's testing you to see how you'll react. If you panic and start chasing her, you fail the test. But if you remain calm, if you act like her absence doesn't affect you, you pass the test. And when you pass her tests consistently, she starts to view you as a high-value man. She starts to respect you. And respect is the foundation of attraction. Without it, there's no desire, no longing, no chase. Women are turned on by men who can walk away. They're turned on by men who have the strength to say, "If you're not interested, that's fine. I'm not going to chase you." Because that kind of confidence is rare. Most men will chase. Most men will try to prove their worth. But the man who doesn't need to prove anything, the man who knows his value and isn't afraid to lose her, that's the man she can't resist. That's the man she'll stay up at night thinking about. That's the man she'll text first, call first, and chase until she knows she's won him over. This is how female psychology works. Women are attracted to men who trigger their emotions, who make them feel something beyond the ordinary, and nothing triggers a woman's emotions more than uncertainty. When she doesn't know where she stands with you, she'll work harder to secure your attention. But when she knows she has you wrapped around her finger, she'll lose interest. It's that simple. If you're thinking this sounds like a game, you're wrong. It's about understanding the natural dynamics of attraction and using them to your advantage. It's about being the kind of man who doesn't need to chase because women naturally gravitate toward him. You become a man who's in control of his emotions, his actions, and his life. And that kind of man is irresistible. Number 4, how to flip the script and make her chase you. If you want her to chase you, the first step is to stop chasing her entirely. But this isn't just about ignoring her or playing hard to get. It's about rewiring the way you think about relationships and understanding exactly what triggers female desire. You have to realize that a woman doesn't chase a man because he's nice to her, because he buys her things, or because he constantly tells her how much he likes her. She chases a man because he activates something primal inside her, the desire to win him over. Women are driven by emotions, by the thrill of the chase, and by the idea of being with a man they perceive as high value. If you're constantly available, constantly texting her, constantly catering to her, you strip away that thrill. You rob her of the emotional high that comes from wondering where she stands with you. When she's not emotionally stimulated, she loses interest. Think of it like this. When you watch a suspenseful movie, you're glued to the screen because you don't know what's going to happen next. The uncertainty keeps you engaged. But if you know the ending from the start, you'll probably get bored halfway through. Women experience attraction the same way. When a man is unpredictable, when he's a bit of a mystery, when she's not entirely sure how he feels about her, she becomes obsessed. She starts thinking about him constantly. She starts analyzing his every move. And that's exactly where you want her to be. To create this dynamic, you need to master the art of controlled detachment. Controlled detachment means you're not cold or dismissive, but you're also not overly invested. You're warm, charismatic, and attentive when you're with her, but you're perfectly fine with walking away when you're not. You don't need her attention to feel good about yourself, and she can sense that. That's what drives her crazy. Women are incredibly intuitive. They can tell when a man is genuinely confident and when he's faking it. If you're constantly thinking about her, waiting for her text, or rearranging your schedule to accommodate her, she'll pick up on that. And once she realizes she's your priority, she'll start pulling away. But when you maintain your sense of independence, when you focus on your goals, your passions, and your own life, you create a sense of scarcity. You become the man who isn't always available, who isn't always texting her, who isn't always trying to prove himself. And that scarcity makes you valuable. It's basic economics. When something is scarce, people want it more. When you're a man who has boundaries, who doesn't drop everything for a woman, she starts to see you as a prize. And when a woman sees a man as a prize, she'll do whatever it takes to win him over. The key to making her chase you is to trigger her emotions. Women don't fall in love through logic. They fall in love through feelings. They need to feel excitement, anticipation, and a little bit of tension. If you're too predictable, you're not giving her anything to feel. But when you create moments of mystery, when you're not always available, when you occasionally leave her wondering, you're giving her the emotional stimulation she craves. Here's how to do it. When you're texting her, don't respond right away. Let some time pass. Let her wonder what you're doing. When you're making plans, don't be too eager. Suggest a time and place, but don't act like it's the highlight of your week. When you're with her, be present, be engaging, but don't reveal too much about yourself all at once. Keep her curious. Make her want to learn more about you. And when the time comes to end the conversation or the date, end it first. Leave her wanting more. Make her feel like she didn't get enough of you. That's how you create attraction. Think about the last time you craved something. Maybe it was a dessert, a luxury item, or even a person. What made you crave it? It wasn't the fact that it was readily available. It was the fact that it was just out of reach. The same principle applies to women. When you're slightly out of reach, when you're not always accessible, when you're a little bit of a challenge, she'll crave you. She'll think about you when you're not around. She'll replay your conversations in her head. She'll check her phone, hoping you've texted her. And that's exactly what you want. Now let's talk about turning her on. Women aren't just turned on by physical attraction. They're turned on by mental and emotional stimulation. They're turned on by a man who knows how to push their buttons, who knows how to make them feel desired, but also keeps them on their toes. To do this, you need to master the art of playful teasing. Playful teasing is one of the most effective ways to build sexual tension. It shows her that you're confident, that you're not afraid to be a little bold, and that you know how to have fun. When you're with her, don't be afraid to tease her in a playful, flirty way. If she says something silly, call her out on it with a smirk. If she's being stubborn, jokingly challenge her. Make her laugh, but also make her wonder if you're serious. That blend of humor and ambiguity is what creates tension. And tension is the foundation of desire. But don't overdo it. Teasing should be light-hearted and fun, not mean or hurtful. The goal is to make her smile and blush, not to make her feel insecure. Another way to turn her on is to show her that you're a man who knows what he wants. Women are attracted to decisiveness. They don't want a man who's constantly second-guessing himself or seeking their approval. They want a man who takes the lead, who makes decisions, and who's confident in his choices. So when you're making plans, be decisive. Don't ask her what she wants to do. Tell her what you have planned. Don't ask for permission. Take the lead. Women find it incredibly attractive when a man is in control, not in an overbearing or controlling way, but in a way that shows he's confident and capable. And finally, remember that women are turned on by emotional connection. Physical attraction will get her attention, but emotional connection will keep her interested. To build an emotional connection, you need to be present and attentive when you're with her. Listen to her, engage with her, and make her feel understood. But don't make the mistake of being over-emotional or sharing too much too soon. Women are drawn to men who are emotionally stable and secure. They don't want a man who's emotionally needy or dependent on them for validation. They want a man who can be vulnerable when it's appropriate, but doesn't make his emotions the center of the relationship. When you combine all of these elements, controlled detachment, playful teasing, decisiveness, and emotional connection, you create an irresistible combination. You become the man she can't stop thinking about, the man she's excited to see, and the man she's willing to chase. But it all starts with you. You have to be willing to let go of the need for her validation. You have to be willing to walk away if she doesn't meet your standards. Because the moment you become the man who doesn't need her, she'll become the woman who needs you. When you apply these principles, you'll notice a shift in the way women respond to you. They'll start initiating conversations. They'll start making plans. They'll start competing for your attention. And the best part? You won't have to chase them. They'll be chasing you. But remember, this isn't about manipulation. This is about understanding the natural dynamics of attraction and becoming the kind of man who naturally draws women in. So stop chasing, start living, and watch as she becomes the one chasing you. Number 5. Why Stoicism is the ultimate weapon. Women are emotional by nature, and the key to winning in modern relationships is mastering your emotions while understanding theirs. Women live in an emotional world where feelings guide decisions, attraction, and behavior. Men who fail to recognize this get trapped. They become slaves to the emotional roller coaster she controls. You need to stop that. You need to take control of your world by mastering the one thing most men don't, your emotional state. Women test you. It's in their nature. They will create drama. They will be distant. They will play games to see if you crumble. If you do, she knows she has power over you. But if you remain calm, if you don't let her emotional ups and downs dictate your mood, she knows you're different, and that's when you become the man she respects and craves. Stoicism isn't just a philosophy. It's your ticket to freedom from emotional manipulation. It's about controlling what you can, yourself, and not being controlled by what you can't. Her reactions, her tests, her moods. The moment you stop reacting to her emotional bait, you gain the upper hand. Most men lose this game because they overreact. She pulls back and they panic. She doesn't text and they blow up her phone. She cancels plans and they beg to reschedule. But a stoic man does none of that. When she pulls back, he lets her. When she doesn't text, he focuses on his life. When she cancels, he moves on without missing a beat. And that drives her crazy in the best way possible. Women want to feel like they're with a man who doesn't need them to function. They want a man who is secure, grounded, and unshakable. A man who, no matter what chaos is happening around him, stays in control. When you embody this, she becomes addicted to your presence. Why? Because you give her something rare: stability in a world full of emotional chaos. A stoic man is her anchor. She tests you, challenges you, even tries to provoke you. But when you remain calm and centered, she's drawn to you on a deeper level. Her respect for you grows, and without respect, there is no attraction. When she tries to stir up drama, most men fall into her trap by arguing, defending themselves, or seeking validation. A stoic man, however, doesn't engage. He listens, acknowledges her emotions, and calmly addresses the situation without letting it affect his sense of self. Imagine this. She accuses you of not caring because you didn't reply to her text immediately. Most men would apologize or over-explain, but a stoic man would simply say, "I'm not always on my phone, but when I'm with you, I'm fully present." That calm response diffuses the tension, asserts your boundaries, and shows her that you're not desperate for her approval. Women need to feel emotional highs and lows to stay invested. If everything is too predictable, they lose interest. Stoicism allows you to create that emotional balance by not reacting to every little thing, by staying composed and confident. You create moments where she's left wondering what you're thinking, and when she's wondering, she's invested. The more she thinks about you, the more her desire grows. A stoic man doesn't give her constant validation, but when he does, it's meaningful, it's rare, and that makes it powerful. When you compliment her, she feels it deeply, because it's not something you throw around casually, it's earned, and women value what they earn. Stoicism also teaches you to accept reality as it is. If she's pulling away, you don't chase her. You don't try to convince her to stay. You let her go, knowing that you'll be fine either way. This mindset is incredibly attractive because it shows that you're not dependent on her for your happiness. And here's the secret most men don't understand. When she feels like she's losing you, she'll fight to keep you. But that only happens when you're willing to walk away. Women sense when a man is truly willing to let them go, and that's when their desire kicks into overdrive. But if you're always chasing, always trying to win her back, she knows you'll never leave, and she takes you for granted. Stoicism isn't about being emotionless, it's about being emotionally disciplined. It's about knowing when to express your feelings and when to hold back. Women want a man who can be vulnerable, but only at the right moments. If you're constantly spilling your emotions, you'll come across as needy. But if you reveal your feelings sparingly when it truly matters, you create an emotional impact. She'll see you as a man who's in control of his emotions, not controlled by them. And that's the man she wants to be with. Women are wired to test your emotional strength, and if you fail those tests, you lose their respect. But when you pass those tests, when you remain calm, composed, and unaffected, you become the man she admires, the man she chases, the man she dreams about. Stoicism gives you the power to be that man. It teaches you that you don't need to react to everything. Sometimes, the most powerful response is no response at all. By focusing on your own growth, your own goals, and your own happiness, you naturally become the man women want to be around. You become the man who leads, not the man who follows. The man who sets the tone, not the man who waits for her to decide. The man who stands firm in his values, not the man who compromises to please her. When you master Stoicism, you'll see a shift in how women respond to you. They'll respect you more, admire you more, and desire you more, because you're no longer a boy seeking validation. You're a man who knows his worth. And a man who knows his worth is a man she can't ignore. Number 6, the final shift. This is where everything you've learned comes together. The final shift isn't just about her, it's about you. It's about transforming from a man who chases to a man who's chased, from a man who seeks approval to a man who commands respect, from a man who's reactive to a man who's proactive. The final shift is when you stop worrying about what she thinks of you and start focusing on what you think of yourself. Because when you respect yourself, when you prioritize your own growth and happiness, women will naturally be drawn to you. The final shift happens when you realize that you don't need her to feel complete. You don't need her texts to feel validated. You don't need her attention to feel important. You are important. You are valuable. And the moment you internalize this, everything changes. Women can sense when a man is secure in himself. It's in the way you walk, the way you talk, the way you carry yourself. It's in the way you handle rejection, the way you handle challenges, the way you handle life. A man who's made the final shift isn't afraid of losing her because he knows he'll be fine without her. And that mindset is magnetic. When you stop chasing, you create space for her to chase you. When you stop seeking her validation, you give her a reason to seek yours. When you stop making her the center of your world, you become the man she wants to revolve around. The final shift isn't about manipulation or playing games. It's about becoming the best version of yourself and letting that version naturally attract the right women. The final shift is when you realize that you don't need to impress her, you need to impress yourself. And when you do, she'll notice, she'll admire you, she'll want you. Women want to be with a man who's on a mission, a man who's driven, a man who's building something. They don't want to be your purpose, they want to be part of your purpose. The final shift is about creating a life so fulfilling that she wants to be part of it. And when you do that, you won't have to chase her. She'll be the one chasing you. She'll be the one wondering what you're doing, who you're with, and how she can be part of your world. The final shift is about owning your power. It's about knowing that you're the prize, not her. You. And when you own that, when you live that, she'll feel it, she'll see it, and she won't be able to resist it. The final shift is the moment you stop waiting for her to choose you and start choosing yourself. And when you do, she'll chase you, not because you manipulated her, but because you became the man she's been searching for. So stop chasing, start living, start building, start becoming. The final shift isn't just about getting the girl. It's about becoming the man you were meant to be. And when you do, she'll be the one chasing you, not because she has to, but because she wants to. If you're ready to stop waiting, if you're ready to become the man she chases, drop "I'm building my power" in the comments. Don't just watch this video and move on. Apply what you've learned. Subscribe to this channel and be part of a community of men who are transforming their lives. When you hit subscribe, YouTube will show this content to more men who need it. Let's make sure no man ever waits for a text that never comes again.